Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. Well, to other stories now, the Ghana Water Company Limited has announced plans to strengthen partnership with security agencies and the judiciary to step up efforts, to clamp down on illegal water connection. Now, this comes on the back of growing concerns, which I'm sure you have, over the wastage in the water distribution system, resulting in heavy losses to the Ghana Water Company. We'll hear from the Ghana Water Company shortly, but first, let's listen to the acting managing director, Adam Mutawakilo, cite meter bypassing as well as customer non-payment of bills, among others, as factors contributing to the company's losses. James Aveji has more from that engagement.
The utility service providers, especially the Ghana Water Company, has been losses, both technical and commercial. And that is the reason why the GWCL and the World Bank have put together stakeholders here in Accra in order to deliberate over the challenge and find some lasting solutions. The acting managing director of the Ghana Water Limited, Adam Mutawakilo, has revealed that as of December 2024, the company was doing about 52% losses in revenue.
Our non-revenue water was about 52% as at December 2024. So after a few months in office, I begin to understand how the system operates. And from July, I started implementing my policies. December 2024, it was 52%. Yes.
That's non-revenue water.
Non-revenue water.
Specifically on commercial losses.
Commercial losses, because of the way it is quite difficult for us to distinguish technical and commercial. But I can estimate that 80% of the water that we lose comes from commercial, not technical.
In order to tackle the challenge, the MD has put together a revenue assurance team to hit the ground to look at what exactly the challenge has been. These are some of the findings they've been coming out with after a month-long work on the grounds.
Some people, there's an installed meter, but they have an alternative line to their premises, said that they will use water in their premises, but that volume of water will not pass through the meter. Other customers, other people, not even customers, they have illegally connected water to their premises and using it. They are not on our records, so then we do not have any way of billing them at all. Others can even go to the extent of damaging the meter that has been installed there, so that the meter cannot record the volume of water they use.
There's no criminal acts they should be arrested and prosecuted, especially those doing the illegal connection.
Yes, you are right. You are right to say it's an act of illegality and that can be arrested. But just as I told you, this is the way management wants us to go for now, to invite such people to come. For some, it's out of ignorance. Some also know very well that it's wrong, but they are still doing it. So this is the way we have started. Maybe going forward, we may take some of them on.
How many of these people are on your list now? The list you said you've...
For now, within this 1 month and 2 weeks, we have 109 customers that have already reported at the office, and we have charged them various sums of money.
How much have you estimated losing to some of these things?
What we are losing is huge. We have already gotten 4.4 million billion out of that.
4.4
million Ghana cedis.
Giving you 4.4 million?
Yes.
In 1 month?
Yes. 109.
The MD said the changes in the last few weeks has resulted in some revenue gains as well as a decrease in the percentage of losses as recorded in August 2025.
In August, we've seen an improvement in revenue by 20%. And August non-revenue water dropped to 50. We expect that September we should see a further drop.
Now, one of the key stakeholders in all of this conversation is the customer, and an association is represented here as part of the conversation. That is the Water Users Association. And a member is with me here. Madam Justin is here. You are a member of WUA. From which of the locations?
Ajekojo Electoral Area.
Ajekojo Electoral Area.
Yeah, Tema West Sun City.
Okay, Tema West Sun City. You have heard the issues we've talked about so far. You are a member of the association. From the customer perspective, how do you think, what are the cause of the problems, and how do you think the Ghana Water Limited can address them?
The problem is that paying of the bill. Formally, they give us on the paper. Okay. Then we remember to go and pay. But now they are putting it on the phone. And it is not everybody that have those digital phone. So paying of the bill will be difficult for them. So in my opinion, if it will be better, they should rather maintain the paper so that the moment they bring you the paper, you know that you are going to pay your bill. It will alert you. But putting on the phone will not solve the problem. Number two, the area that people are living, they have to get a water meter so that they'll be able to be paying their bill fast. But now...
I'll come to the meter, but what is the difference between getting it on the phone and getting a bill printed on paper? Why are you finding it difficult to pay when it is sent to you?
The reason why I'm finding it difficult for my people is that it is not everybody who have a phone. Okay. But the moment they save now with the receipt, they will remember that they have to go and pay the bill.
Why, you forget?
Yeah, at times they forget. And it is not me alone. Me, at times I put into on the people's shoe that if they not give them the paper, they will not remember to go and pay the bill. Because it's not everybody who have a phone. Some people, they don't have phone. And there's some, they don't even want to hold their phone safe. So such person, the bill will come on their phone, they will leave it down. So how can the waterways make their money? And before they will send, the person will remember that they have to pay their bill, then the money will be piled, and then they can't pay.
Okay. Let's talk about another problem, which is the illegal connection. Why are you customers not getting the meters in order to consume the water and pay to the water company? Why are you doing illegal connections?
Yeah, the illegal connection that people are doing, to me, I know that because of the meter that people pass illegal way to sell for them. Okay. At times it come on the government project. Okay.
Well, thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. Now, fake gazettes are flooding Ghana's space, a problem blamed on weak regulation in the publishing sector. This afternoon on The Pulse, we speak to the acting chief executive officer of the Ghana Publishing Company Limited, Boatey. He has outlined bold plans to revive the struggling firm and transform it into a leading publisher in the sub-region, with major restructuring already underway, including a new organogram and a complete overhaul of systems and infrastructure. He joins me in the studio to discuss the challenges facing GPCL and the way forward. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. I'd like to start with, so far, how has it been? What was the state of the company you received just a few months ago?
Well, it's been challenging. We met a company that you could call one on its needs. On first day when I arrived, I said that, well, what we have here is a sleeping giant. So you have a giant, but it was lying down and asleep, and we needed to wake it up. So there was a complete overhaul required. First, there was the need to structure the company well.
It lacked structures?
It lacked quite a number of structures. For instance, you wouldn't have an effective production company that does not have a quality control department. So we didn't have a quality control department. We had to create one from scratch. You won't have an ultra-modern publishing company that does not have an effective marketing and sales department. It didn't have, we had to create from scratch. And so there was need, we in fact had to create a corporate affairs department from scratch. So there was need for a complete, structural reform. We created a legal department. You publish all the laws of Ghana. You publish the Gazette of Ghana. I'm lucky to be a lawyer, but I can't be the company's lawyer. There was need, to get a legal department. I mean, the company's premises, if you go to Tudu and you're looking for Ghana Publishing Company, you have to, at the time, you have to have at the back of your mind that you're looking for Assembly Press. Otherwise, people didn't know where you were going, because on that building inscribed boldly was Assembly Press, a name the company inherited from many years ago, and which was no longer the case for a company, the corporate brand that we're building. So there was quite a lot we had to do, but God being good, we're getting there. We, for instance, had to immediately, 3 weeks into my commencement into office, we had to start a 24-hour shift, because we realized that we were quite overstaffed, and work delayed. If you applied for a Gazette, it was going to take you 3 months, sometimes longer. So I said, well, I met the union, management went over, and I said, President already said we should start 24-hour economy. Why can't we start a night shift?
And let's talk about the Gazette, because you're the only company legally allowed to provide that service. Mm-hmm. But then we have a lot of girl boys infiltrating the system, making it quite difficult to get legitimate documentation. How are you dealing with that?
Yes, the fake Gazette, very big problem. So when we took over, and I realized that people could literally produce the Gazette on their own, without having to come to Ghana Publishing. And falsification of any of those official documentations, I think people felt was okay, but these brought huge problems. There are people who are abroad and they will write to us asking for whether or not a name change has been gazetted, and people would go to jail for identity theft and all of that because they genuinely wanted to change their name, but some guru boy sitting by the roadside took their money and gave them a fake one.
How big is the problem really nationwide?
It is quite big. In the last 3 weeks, we have arrested 6 people. That is, and we are not reaching everybody. But you also know
6 people in Accra alone?
In Accra. The last one was in Tamale. That happened, I think, this morning in Tamale. But the thing is that the people you catch with the fake Gazette don't know. Mostly they have gone to somebody, Commissioner of Oath, asking for a Gazette, not knowing that they have to come to Ghana Publishing for the Gazette. And the Commissioner of Oath would take it, and it was easy to duplicate what we had, so they did. So when we took over, we decided to change the form and introduce some security features. So you will see, this is originally how the Gazette looked like, black and white like this. Now, we changed it to this gold color. Now, the coat of arms that is gold is not just ornamental. We have security features in there. They respond to light and all of that. And we created a watermark, which also, in every page has it and has security features all over in there. So,
but as a consumer and an end user, how am I supposed to know all these new changes? And because really, it's as easy as walking to any market. That's how easy it is to get a Gazette. And there are concerns that even chiefs are already in on it.
Yeah, so this is, see, a chief is obligated to be gazetted. So as long as you go through the process at National House of Chiefs and they give you the certificate, you're supposed to bring it to us. If you decide to take it to some guru boy, this is where you get the problem. Now, you ask me how easy is it for people to find. It's like the Ghana money. So the Ghana CD has a lot of features. Trust me, we don't know it all. If you take it to a bank, the bank can tell you this is fake, this is counterfeit. You and I cannot always tell. So the place to find out whether or not your Gazette is authentic or is fake is the Ghana Publishing Company. How do you know you're getting a fake Gazette? You're not getting it from Ghana Publishing Company. Then you're getting a fake. It's as simple as that. So the point is that if you need a Gazette for anything, it must be in your mind that it is only the Ghana Publishing Company that publishes the Ghana Gazette by law.
Let's check your regional representation. Are you equally represented in all the regions to ensure that people far and wide can get access to your services?
We are not, so this is what we've done. We have a partnership with Ghana Post, which is represented almost everywhere. And so in the regions where we are not represented, and in most regions we're not, unfortunately.
How many regions?
Now we have only Ashanti region and Greater Accra.
So the other 14 regions, you don't have branches?
You don't have branches. But if you go to a post office and you say you want to procure a Gazette, they will fill all the forms for you, you pay the statutory fee, and they will bring it to us to publish.
But isn't that also creating a loophole for this so-called middlemen to infiltrate the system?
Well, it might create a little loophole, but there is an alternative. So, you know, if you can go to a Ghana Post and get the Gazette done, then you have no excuse saying that you will go to a Guru Boy. The point is that you are certain to be committing a crime if you go to a Guru Boy. Let's not get that mixed up. Once you falsify this document I'm holding, once you falsify it and you give it to someone, you have committed a huge crime. So there is no point doing it. And you have no excuse, even if Ghana Publishing was only in Tudu. That is where you can get a Gazette, period. But we've made it a little easier, and look, it's also a financial issue. Over time, when we're able to, we will open branches. We would want to be in the districts. We will want to be in the cities. We want to be everywhere.
Let's look at your books. How financially active are you? Are you raking in revenue as we speak, or are you running into losses?
No, we are doing a lot better than I met the company.
Okay.
We're doing a lot better. I mean, you can say that, you know, our financial position now is probably 1,000, 2,000% better.
Okay.
In 6 months, that's how, you know, before things were pretty bad.
How bad?
Well, I mean, you had a company that, you know, from time to time needed to take, for instance, an overdraft to pay salaries. You know, so it was pretty bad. We are no longer like that. I mean, we are a lot better.
You needed overdrafts?
Well, I mean, you know, to pay salaries sometimes if you don't make enough money, because government doesn't pay the workers at Ghana Publishing Company from the consolidated fund. The company pays itself. So in the month when you don't make enough money, you will need an overdraft. If you don't plan and make savings and run the company in a manner that would, you know, give you shocks for that, then you can run into those situations. And yes, when I came, you know, the company was paying, you know, salaries with ODs. We no longer do that.
And that's quite shocking. Were you in debt as at when you took over?
Well, for a company running the way Ghana Publishing runs, when you buy paper and you print and you sell and you do work for government and recover money, you will owe some debts. Questioning whether or not you're financially healthy is whether or not you have more debt than, you know, you have to recover. And you have, you know, whether or not you have some savings, some investments. How is the company's financial health? When we came, if you look at the debt stock, how long we owed some suppliers, some 6 months, some, you know, we weren't as financially healthy as the company was supposed to be. That situation has changed drastically now.
Let's talk about financing still, because I'm wondering, how are you turning the fortunes around? We have GS and other state institutions getting private individuals to handle printing of key documents. And that is something that you have the capacity to deliver on.
Exactly so. It is the reason why I'm sitting here. It's the reason why I've knocked at everybody's door. I've met the education minister, and we've consistently told them that we are the state printer. They have to give us the jobs. I mean...
But do you have the capacity, though?
Well, it's a chicken and egg situation, isn't it? If you give me more jobs, I can procure more equipment. If you don't give me jobs, how will I procure equipment? So we have some capacity, significant capacity. And like it or leave it, we are the state publisher. So if we don't have the capacity, then government of Ghana must give us the capacity. But I am saying, give me the jobs. If I use the contract to even secure a loan to buy equipment, I'm happy like that. But without giving the contracts, you cannot, you know, say we don't have the capacity. I mean, if Ghana doesn't have the capacity to have a publisher that can compete with everybody, then who does? Right?
And let's talk about your pricing regime. How competitive are you as compared to these private companies?
Well, I can bet that giving all the necessary support and a fair playing ground, we must be more competitive than most of the private companies. But you want the truth? Truth is, some private companies charge 4% VAT. We charge 21% VAT. You know, we're a government institution, and there is no, you know, moving around any of these things. So yes, there are statutory obligations that can, make us somehow less competitive sometimes. But generally, we are a state institution, and as much as possible, we are mandated to provide these services. For me, if not because we had to pay salaries and pay overheads for free, even if we could. I mean, if people who work in and change their name without paying any money, why not? But the company has to run, and government doesn't pay those salaries. So we charge the barest minimum we can. In terms of publishing and printing, much as we try, there are times when we have genuine challenges because you have significant, statutory overhands, which some private company, if you go to Newtown, you can have people print, your brochures for you without having to charge you VAT. Not very good, but they have that. Or smaller companies build with charging smaller VAT. When we don't have that luxury. So I can charge you half what they're charging you, and I will still be more expensive because after that, I have to put 20%, 25% withholding tax and VAT over it. And 25, 27%.
But have you been talking to GRA to try and break this down for you?
No,
to enable you to compete?
There seems to be no. We've engaged GRA significantly. I mean, because also we came to meet some legacy tax debts which we had to negotiate with them, and so we've engaged them. But I know that GRA cannot give us exemption, for instance, from collecting VAT for the government. The government organizations have to do that. So we work within the remit. We are as competitive as can be, save some of these. And that is why, for me, government institutions, for instance, institutions like Joy FM, for instance, that understand that tax is the fulcrum of the country's own economic development, must understand when we give them a bill, which is, by the way, lower than what you get outside, except maybe for VAT and other statutory, contributions which you have to make to the state. They have to understand. But having said all of that, I still think that we're one of the most competitive, even in terms of billing in the sector.
Can we trust the quality of work you put out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll put my own head in the gallows if I have to, that the staff at Ghana Publishing are very committed to the job they do, and they do a great job. But more importantly, and you have seen that newsletter you're holding, it is a newsletter we recently just produced because we've acquired, since I've been there, some new equipment. This year's budget was produced by us, and you should see the quality, beautiful. The media budget review was produced by us, you should see. There is commitment, and when it comes to quality, it is one thing I can guarantee you. Again, because we're the state. And so we don't compromise. And now, even with the introduction of our quality control department, we're even better. Quality absolutely assured.
Apart from the finance ministry, which other ministry are you actively talking to negotiate taking more jobs?
Oh, recently we've engaged, for instance, the local government ministry. We are engaging Controller and Accountant General because they print all the receipts, lots of documents. We are engaging Ghana Police because you can imagine if we got all the complaint forms that you have to fill at the police station, printed from Ghana Publishing, it would be great. So Electoral Commission we've already been working with, and consistently, we're asking them to give us more work when they can do work. We've engaged Ministry of Trade and Industry, any organization. In fact, we realized when I came that under Professor Mills, the late Professor Mills, there was a fiat that made it mandatory for all government institutions to give at least 20% of their jobs, publishing jobs, to Ghana Publishing to do. This was not implemented effectively. We're still minded to engage the current chief of staff and get some of these back underway. So there are a lot of engagements going on in those directions. It's a tall list. Traj, Ghana Shippers Authority, it's quite a tall, endless list. And we're getting some jobs, to be honest.
You want to make this company quite competitive, but the key concern over the period is that state institutions don't seem to be making profits. They are always recording losses. So how do you plan to turn the fortunes around of the company?
Well, I can assure you we've done, in the past 6 months, we've done quite well, and it gives me promise. You see, it is prudence. A lot of the times, what you require is prudence. We're doing a lot of that. So, you have to be sure that the expenditure is worth it. But also, I think what, was lacking is efficiency. So if you have a company that is overstaffed, clearly you're paying people who are not getting significant jobs to do. And so you realize when we started the 24-hour shift that almost half of the people who were in the regular shift now moved to night and they're working even at night. So delivery time is better. People don't mind paying a little more if they're getting their jobs on good time. So all of that is happening, and we have restructured even the main operations. Everybody closes at 4:30. The main form stored, our main operations closes at 7:30. So there are people who start work at 10 and close at 7:30. So even if you close from work at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock and you decide to come and do a Gazette, when you pass by, we're still there. So we have restructured the company to be operationally more effective and efficient, and we are doing a lot of financial prudence, and this is how we intend to make it happen.
How much will it cost me to Gazette?
So now there are 3 gazetting formulas we have. Okay. If you come for the regular Gazette, and I don't remember the figures on the top of my head, but it takes you now 3 weeks. Hitherto it took 3 months. Sometimes earliest you got that was 8 weeks. Now it will take you 3 weeks. I think you pay something below 700 cedis. And then we have the premium. That also takes you 3 days. Hitherto it took you a week. That premium will cost you something under 1,200. I don't remember these figures off the top of my head. There's a lot going on.
Okay.
And then there is a 24-hour service, which you come today like
How
right now.
How effective has that service been, offering 24-hour services?
Fantastic. It's been fantastic. It's one of our most patronized, streams of the Gazette. A lot of people come needing the Gazette because sometimes he has gone to passport office, he needs a Gazette. He didn't know he needs a Gazette, so they say bring one. Before, passport office would accept a receipt even from us. But now you come, you can get it tomorrow. So people come really needing it, like I want the thing tomorrow. And yes, if you come at 5 p.m., the next day, 10 a.m. morning, you can come and pick your Gazette up. So it's working.
And there are concerns that staff members, if not checked, could also aid some of these guru boys. How are you ensuring that internally there are no leakages?
Well, we have made very strong regulations and we are enforcing them very strictly, that no staff member get involved in the procurement of Gazette whatsoever. If your relative, and there was initial discussion, even if your own relative wants a Gazette, please, by all means, bring them and show them the forms and say, this is how you go through the process. But don't take anybody's money and say, I will procure a Gazette for you. If I catch you, just like I catch anybody, the police gets involved. It wouldn't matter that you're a staff. And it's not happening, trust me. It's not happening.
And so far, if you look at the number of individuals you have arrested, how many have been prosecuted since you assumed office?
Well, the prosecution, the arrest itself, this declaration of war on fake Gazette, it started just about 3 weeks ago. And so I'm talking about the arrests that have been made in the past 3 weeks. Okay. We intend to have all of them prosecuted. The processes take some time. Investigation, arraignment takes some time. But we intend to follow every one of them to the final point where, not only prosecution, but where conviction is secured, sentencing happens.
And finally, as we wrap up the conversation, your plan is to make the publishing company quite competitive. In fact, the most competitive in the sub-region. How do you plan to achieve that?
We want to make the Ghana Publishing Company an ultra-modern company that will rival every other publishing company in the sub-region. To do that, we need to improve the finances. We need to acquire the equipment. And so, we have discussed this dream. There is need for financial injection. I and my board are working together to secure the necessary funds, to retool the company.
How much do you need?
$15 million for start. Will you give us some? The assessments say we need about $15 million. Of course, we'll have all of it. But year-on-year basis, we intend to invest significant amount. This year, for instance, we have already invested in 2 almost 2 brand new digital equipment, and we've opened up a whole digital center. We intend to continue with the retooling agenda, acquire the equipment that we need. We want to get to a point where we do security printing, where the passports of Ghana will be printed by the Ghana Publishing Company, where even the Ghana currency, if need be, will be printed by. That is what is befitting of the publishing company of the nation. It doesn't have to be the case where a private person is the one that prints the passport of Ghana. You know, it doesn't have to be the case where even the budget, when it's supposed to be read, has to go to a private person first. We want to position the company well to do the jobs that it deserves to do for the Republic of Ghana.
Quite ambitious goal. How do you plan to find the money?
Well, it's a business that makes profit for start, and we intend to, as and when to source it beyond our scope, do that. But for now, we're working within, our financial ambits, and we're doing quite well. We intend that with consistent austerity and prudence, we'll be able to make the company even more profitable so that we can fund the things. The banks will give you money to go on these kinds of important investments if they can trust in your books. We're keeping the books clean. We're doing everything we can. We're very certain that, with the kind of trajectory we're on, give it a maximum 1 year. Ghana Publishing Company should be one of the most attractive government companies in Ghana, and everybody will be willing to give us money.
Thank you so much for your time here.
Thank you.
On The Pulse.